Hello and welcome all my musical minions to the Forgotten OneCast. This is episode 16. I'm so surprised I've lasted this long. Usually I kind of give up on these kind of things, but you know, I do like talking about music, and it's one of my passions. So I think this may go on for a while. I may not stop anytime soon. But today we are going to be talking with Dre from Brutal Planet Comics. He's got a cool new comic coming out called Treble that I'm anxious to talk to him and dive more into the ideas of it. But first, if you aren't subscribed to the channel, why not? So don't forget, like and subscribe. You got to do that. Like and subscribe. Comment on the video after it's done. Helps that YouTube algorithm push through. And then of course, we are a tiny channel, and every little scrap of revenue doesn't hurt. So we have to do it again. We have to have a word from our sponsor.
Nuts.
Al Pilkington. All right.
Are you team coffee or are you team green tea? Try coffeebrandcoffee.com and enjoy 10% off your order with promo code CJP. Coffee Brand Coffee, great coffee, no gimmicks.
So again, you just have to ask yourself, are you team coffee? Or are you team green tea? And actually, they do have a bunch of new winter flavors that are out now. So you just go to coffeebrandcoffee.com, promo code CJP, save you 10%. But, now that all that junk's out of the way, I do want to bring in Mr. Dre from Brutal Planet Comics. Mr. Dre, how are you doing this evening?
I'm good, CJ, and thanks for having me. I'm still wrapping my head around how good that intro video was.
Oh, thank you.
Holy crap, that was some production value behind that thing. That was cool.
I've had to self-teach myself how to do video, so that's been a fun process over the years. So, you got to do what you got to do.
I hear that. I second that motion.
Awesome. Well, you are the owner, creator, founder of Brutal Planet Comics. So kind of tell us a little bit about yourself. Obviously, what got you into doing the comics, and what got you into the music side of it, and your idea for Treble, which is really fascinating to me. I love the idea of it, and we'll dive into there. But really quick though, I do want to let the people in the chat know that we're here. We got Mr. Paul Hadouken showing up, Mr. Keely Chow, who's in every stream. I don't think there's a stream I've been on where he hasn't been in the chat somewhere. It's weird. I hit the button, Tulsa. He's my bass player, so he was always giving me a shit. And Mr. Clinton Hausch popping in. Mr. Sean Kavanaugh. I guess maybe he's using the different the different patch that he had, the different channel he had. This is the gentleman I had on last week. We had a great conversation.
Oh,
so, thank you everyone for showing up. So, Mr. Dre, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so shout outs to the chat. Glad you guys are here and having me to hear my age-old story. So I'm Dre DaBrute Daniels, as CJ introduced me. I am the head writer, director, producer, editor of Brutal Planet Comics, which is a comic book production company. And I am the head writer of my brainchild, Treble, the Rhythm Within. as CJ had alluded to, this comic graphic novel is an action adventure slash musical. Hence why I'm here on this glorious channel today. And to give a little background about myself, I've been a lifelong comic book fan. The moment I came out the womb, I had a Batman comic in my hand. Pretty much, I've been pretty much baptized by fire in comic books. I didn't think myself as a collector. It was just something that I just did. So it was fan of all the cartoons, Batman, X-Men, Iron Man, Spider-Man, all the cartoons from that time period, and all that great stuff. And ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to write my own comic book. And I did a few short stories over the years. My father used to work for uh, uh, Washington Post, and I had the privilege when I was younger to submit some stuff for the comic strips. For those that remember those days in the big Sunday papers, I remember that time period and that era. I contributed a few short stories to that, so that's a pleasure to have done. But I always wanted to get into the big time. I wanted to work for DC. I wanted to work for Marvel. I wanted to work for all those great companies when I was growing up. And obviously that didn't happen. But I tried to first dabble in traditional novelizations. At the time, I didn't have the skill. That's just the reality. And I got, a little bit deterred. Now, I come from a musical background, and that's what I ended up turning to in the meantime while I was honing my craft. I come from a very musical family. I have a family that's, I've been vocalist. I myself have done background for cover bands. I used to play rhythm guitar. I used to do a lot of cool stuff. I have family that's jazz musicians, obviously. And it's just, it's in the blood to try to inculcate music in a lot of things. I used to write as what do they call them now? Ghostwriters for certain local rappers in my area, and so it just kind of took off from there, being part of like the music scene, and I was able to inculcate that into my writing. So just a perfect marriage, and it just kind of flowed really well together, and I was really proud of how everything turned out. If that answers the question, CJ. I went on tangent. If that answers the question.
Now, tell me about your childhood. No, I'm just kidding. We don't do therapy here on the Forgotten OneCast. We just talk.
Oh, Lord, God knows I need it.
Music is therapy.
Facts.
Very much so. Well, I did want to show the trailer that you have on your channel for the comic. So let's make sure that this actually works. All right.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Brutal Planet Comics. I'm your host, DaBrute Daniels, and welcome to my Indiegogo launch for Treble, the Rhythm Within. Yes, rejoice, my children. This is a glorious day. This comic has been a labor of love for many, many years, and I'm trying to bring it to as many people as possible. So just to whet your appetite, let me introduce to you Treble, the Rhythm Within. Welcome to Treble, the Rhythm Within. This comic series is an action-adventure musical that dives into the power of music. We begin our story in Washington, D.C., and someone is poisoning the water with a mutagen. Then we meet our hero, Zamir Green, a 17-year-old that has just wrapped up the 11th grade and is really looking forward to summer vacation.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, he has been exposed to a powerful water-based virus. While performing at a house party, he begins to mutate, and things in his life are changed forever.
Oh, no.
He now gains a different ability based on the genre of music that he listens to. He is thrust into an adventure filled with heroics, heartbreak, and triumph. Will he succeed in saving his city, or is Washington, D.C. doomed? Now that you've got a taste, let me tell you why I need your help. The funding will be going to printing of this graphic novel and to fund more comics in this series. I really, really would appreciate all of your help and support in this manner. And I got a lot of cool perks. Just check it out below. I can't wait to see how much you guys really love this book. It's been a part of me for some time. I really, really look forward to it. And I would love to hear what you guys think about it. I'm going to leave my social media in the little square below where my face is, at DaBrute00 on Twitter, X, and Facebook, and my YouTube channel. Definitely let me know what you thought of my work. From the bottom of my heart, I really thank you all for giving my project a chance. And I will catch you all next time. CJ, every time that's played, I always hope and pray I'm not wearing what I'm wearing when the video is actually playing.
Gosh, do I not have any more clothes than this? Jeez.
Yeah.
Thank Mr. Paul Hadouken for dropping the link to your Indiegogo in the chat. So everyone go check that out. It's in the description of this live stream. So definitely go out, support indie comics, support indie artists in any capacity, because they're the ones that are really driving the culture. It's not the big companies anymore. We have almost a deluge of choices now for finding our entertainment. We don't have to go to TV. We don't have to go to the major labels. We don't have to go to Marvel or DC or Disney or Warner Brothers. We have hundreds of thousands of independent creators that are just creating fantastic art, fantastic music, fantastic books. So, those are the people that we want to lift up and spotlight. We want to help the individual, because if you have a passion, just chase it.
Yeah.
Chase it. Find a way to do it. I never thought I'd be doing YouTube in my 40s. But it's helping me get better as a musician and talking to other people and getting different perspectives. So we can always learn from each other. We can always help each other out. So, that's what we want to do here. And that's what I've been seeing you on so many other channels that they're just trying to help promote, independent artists in this space. So I'm really glad that you're on. I'm really glad that we can talk and just dive into this idea of superheroes having powers derived from music.
Yeah.
And it's a positive or a negative effect. We don't know yet because we haven't seen the book. But
exactly. Yeah. But the thing is, I had to do so much research on pretty much the psychological, mental, emotional, and stereotypical effects that those aspects of effects on the human body or the human mind, and how the stereotypes of music will be based on how the transformations kind of work. So I had to do a lot of research on sound, and I had to do a lot of pretty much polling of people of how certain genres of music makes them feel. And that was quite a challenge. Because everybody feels different, because this music is the key to nostalgia. That's the reality. More often than not, usually it's smell and hearing is the keys to nostalgia. And music can throw you back to 30, 40 years ago, depending on how old you are. You're like, oh man, I remember that song, and that reminds me of when I was at my grandma's house, and whatever. It has that type of connection. So I had to really narrow things down to the most simplistic aspects, because if that, I'll be there all day just trying to do just one genre. I'll sit there for 4 years sitting there and be like, okay, make that person do like this. So I had to try to make it as concise as I possibly can. And I think it turned out very, very well, especially when dealing with the physical transformations that my character undergoes when certain genres of music are played. And I was able to build a world that was grounded, all things considered, in a fantastical superhero sense, but grounded all the same. As long as
the rules fit your universe and they stay consistent in your universe, that's fine.
Yes.
That's always been the problem I've had with a lot of other, especially the modern stuff that's been coming out, is they don't even follow the rules of their own universe.
And that's a major problem, because if the rules of your universe are established and you won't follow them, how the heck am I supposed to understand it? There's no
Exactly.
way. So the universe is pretty. I made it as simplistic as I possibly could. As I mentioned, takes place in DC. That's my hometown. I'm from Washington DC, and the whole idea of the mutagen, I kind of narrowed it down so we'll be able to create a rogues gallery without things getting completely out of control. So the mutagen is put into the water supply on Interstate 295. Now, for those that are familiar with the DC area, you already know that place smells like hot death. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. If you wanted to poison the water supply, ain't nobody gonna notice. It's horrid. So the mutagen that's put in the water, it comes out that the mutagen only affects people with O negative. Now, where in the world did I get that from? I had to sit there and study the percentages of blood types in my city. I had to sit there and break down. I had to look through the math and science of, I wanted a rare blood type, but one that wasn't so rare that it's ridiculous. Like an AB positive blood type is like 0.000011111% of people have, but O negative is like 0.03% of people have it in my city. So I'm able to create a rogues gallery, and I'm able to give it that's not a whole lot of people, because I've done the math. So I can show how the world still works without it just being like, why doesn't everybody have powers? It's simple, it's easy to follow. So I
So,
thought the world building in that aspect was something simple, so that everybody can understand, follow, and not lose their minds all over.
mhm. So you don't have the syndrome.
No, I do not.
Once everybody's super, the nobody's super.
Yeah, yeah. That's that was so poetic. Wasn't that poetic?
I
Oh
know, and
God, it was.
it describes the problem with a lot of modern entertainment,
Hello,
and not
Malo.
just in
Um,
general.
yeah, when
But
everybody's super, no one will be. And that's the. I'm glad you brought that up, CJ, because that's one of the aspects of the book that I think is important. Everybody can't be the hero. It's just not in the cards. Everyone is not special, and there is a little bit of a subplot that kind of have that hinted at, um, about a particular character, the blood transfusions. Okay, and this is one of the things. Thank you, Matt Stokes, for actually bringing that up. Blood transfusions is an aspect that I would want to continue to explore, from this point forward. And that's the kind of ideas that I like. And that's why I created this character in this universe, because the possibilities are endless. There's so many genres of music. We can pull transformations out of our butt cheeks if we want to. And that's the type of thing that I wanted to bring
I
to the
just
forefront.
hopefully not literally.
Not literally.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, all I can think of is have you ever watched Cyanide and Happiness?
No, I never watched it.
It's an animated cartoon it's been on YouTube for years. And it's real basic, almost stick figure like characters, but
Okay.
there's an episode where it's called Pull My Finger, and there's a guy running around the office being the typical class jackass, and he comes up to the main character and he goes, "Hey, pull my finger," and he's like, and instead of pulling, he pushes. And it causes an inverse reaction to where his butthole is sucking in everything like a black hole.
That's funny. I like it. But yeah, but that's the type of creativity. Like I got a couple of early signings that I've done over the years when I was releasing these issues individually. There was a couple of signings I went to, and I'll never forget, this kid had to be like 10 years old, and he came up to me and I signed the book. It was great. It was one of the greatest moments of my career. I signed the book for him, and he said, I have an idea. I said, talk to me, son. What you got for me? He said, like, what if you listen to two songs at once? And I was like, by God, child, you may be brilliant. Oh my goodness. but that's the type of juices that can flow from this story, because I like to think I don't think myself as an innovator by any means, but I've read so many books. I've countless in my sleeves collection. I got countless graphic novels behind me, and throughout all the stuff that I've read over the years, this is something that I have never come across before. There's been sound-based powers, shock waves, stuff like that, and stuff and things of that nature. But getting like a transformation based off of the music that you listen to, that's something I personally have never seen before.
No, I'd never heard of it myself either.
Yeah,
I was so intrigued by
yeah.
the idea.
And
Because
I thought,
in my mind, I immediately went to, well, if he loves the music, it can have a positive transformation. If he hates the music, if it's like polka or tejano, which incidentally is the same fucking thing, it could have a negative effect on his powers and transformations. So I was immediately thinking in my head once I heard the idea of the comic that different genres, depending on whether it's his cup of tea or not, could have a negative or positive effect. Because I know if I was listening to polka by force,
oh
I
boy,
think I would be going crazy because I hate polka.
nuclear. There you go.
Sorry, I'm as white as the day is long, but even I think polka's shit. And I'm sorry, but tejano is just polka with guitars.
That's correct. I am inclined to agree. I've never been a polka guy. Oh boy. Ugh. Now I'm thinking about it. Oh.
See what I mean? Just your physiological reaction alone is worth the discussion, because
yeah, that's
polka
nasty.
Me.
That's nasty. That put a bad taste in my mouth. Ugh. Dang, you made me lose my thoughts.
Sorry, Paul. I feel for you.
Yeah. God bless you. God bless you, sir.
I mean, I'm sorry, but I mean, the only thing that came good out of polka was the fact that it's Germans in Oktoberfest, so it gave us beer.
That's about it. That's about it.
Nothing good came from polka, especially.
But that's why you got to drink the beer because the music's no good.
Awesome. And then you said you're also doing some actual music for the comic as well.
Yes. Like I mentioned before, this is an action adventure musical. This is actually an undertaking that I never thought I'd actually do, but I thought it would be fitting for there to be a soundtrack behind this graphic novel, because what good is a musical without music? I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Like I can have the music in my head and I'm able to show like what genre is being played, but there's nothing greater than actually having the music going right into your ear holes. So I thought it'd been a really, really great idea, and I started producing music, and it's actually part of one of the tiers on my Indiegogo is the music pack. There's the digital music pack where you get the digital book and then the music, or if you want to get physical, got the physical and the bookmark and the music pack. And that's one of the things that's being produced as we speak, which is funny because I just got the phone with my producer literally maybe 15 minutes before we started talking. And we are wrapping up a couple of the songs now. And it's coming along very well. I'm very, very happy with what we have produced so far. And what we're going to be doing in this Indiegogo, there's going to be a music pack for the transformations that are featured in this particular arc, and there's going to be some theme music as well for our main protagonist, Treble himself. It's going to be pretty good.
So here's the actual Indiegogo page. So again, link is in the chat, link is in the description. Definitely go check it out. He's got 47 days left with 13 backers. We can get up a few more there. But you do have your tiers here. You've got the digital pack, you got a print pack, then the digital music pack, which is very cool. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing this come out and getting to actually hear the music itself, because that obviously that's my portion of it. I the music side of things. So
and having to go through I've gone through this book more times than I don't know, pretty much saw my birth certificate. This I had to try to craft the right music for this digital pack because I plan on eventually releasing a full on album for this book, but that's going to be down the line. There's going to be some
Right.
other people I might be collabing with and stuff like that. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I see you in there, Paul. We'll see what we can uh, do in the future when we're going to actually work on the actual full album for this. This is going to be it's gonna be the greatest undertaking I've ever done. And I'm very, very proud of what we've done, especially all the work we put in. And me and myself and I was gonna thought when I heard was superheroes using music, all I thought of was the brown notes.
Well, that's the thing, is you could use, subharmonic frequencies as almost a
Yep.
kryptonite.
Yeah.
Certain frequencies
Yeah.
below the actual human threshold, but if you're powered by music, it could definitely cause some issues.
Exactly. And I'm glad actually Tulsa actually mentioned that. Well, not the brown note, but yeah, but all the same. Because like when I was trying to put together weaknesses for my protagonist in this one, I didn't want to focus too heavily on it because this one is like the origin story and he's going through the learning curve and all other stuff. But of course, and I've announced this already, the second arc is already being written and it's going to be called Treble, Rise of the Children. And for those that are unfamiliar, the virus that is spread throughout the city is called the Chill. So it's going to be essentially the villain book, as I like to consider it, and it's going to be our hero at his lowest point and all that other stuff. And I'm crafting a few very interesting villains in the next arc in which there will be a certain feature on one of these villains that will be negating some abilities. So it's gonna get deep into the murky waters. So thank you, Toza, for bringing that up. Because it's gonna be good. Now, like this arc, I'm planning 3 books. That's essentially, and this book is my A New Hope practically. And next one is My Empire Strikes Back, and the third one's going to be The Return of the Jedi. And that's pretty much how I'm pretty much putting this all together. So, but this one was my heart. This one was my heart. And shout outs to the best artist in the game, Federico Corsini. He's a very good friend of mine, and he did all the art for this book. He did the covers. He did the lettering. He did it all. Inks, colors. Like he did a great job. He wanted like years ago when he reached out to me, he was trying to break out into America. He's from Argentina.
What's up, Medistep?
Yeah. Hey, what's going on, Medistep? And he wanted to break into the scene. He was like, hey, like Dre, I heard that you're looking for artists. He's like, hey, give me a shot. And I was like, okay. And I just sent him something random from like issue 5. I just kind of threw him in the middle of. I said, "Hey, just let's see what you do with this." And it came out so beautiful. I was like, "Oh, you the man. You're with me now. We're gonna be joined together at the hip for life. This is what's happening now." And he's so good. And I've actually watched him grow as an artist over the years. And it's a beautiful thing to see and to see the things that he's able to do now that he might not have been able to do a few years ago. He's helped me as a writer grow in certain aspects and certain directions that I've helped him with his art. And so we've bounced off each other over the years. We're like 2 peas in a pod now, and to see that now because of the work that we've done over the years. And now he's been noticed by some UK people, by some people, some my work, some people that I've gone to signings to, want to know who my artist was, and now he's doing a lot of stuff. So I could not be happier. I couldn't be more proud of him. He's a very good friend of mine, and he's the absolute best.
And GG Access said, "Did you say your artist
Yes.
is from
Argentina? Yes, he's from Argentina
there as well."
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I had to ask DJ. I watched a couple of your live streams. Is the picture on the screen you, or is that the Toasty guy from Mortal Kombat? Because I swear to God, it looks like the guy that goes Toasty.
I remember
that was a random thought. I was watching you play Batman the other night. So, but it is good to have those kind of collaborators because I always go back to that old phrase. Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
And you have to have those people that you can go up against and do all that stuff with. So Todd Howard, who the heck is Todd Howard?
Todd Howard is the head producer and I believe director in Bethesda Studios, the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Like I said, I thought it was the guy that did Toasty, but that was just me. Because you can't really see the guy that well in the old game because he's just all pixelated and small.
Yeah. He is pretty pixelated in there, isn't he? Yeah, sure is. Godly. I remember that thing came out. It's weird. But yeah, that was a different time. But this has been a heck of a journey, and now I'm able to actually bring the graphic novel to everybody, and with new splash pages, updated art, a lot of new stuff that went into this graphic novel from some of those that may have collected the single issues over the years, or the paperback or what have you. This is a culmination of a lot of hard work, and it's a collection of 8 issues in one. So it's thick as cold grits. I'll tell you that. She's a thick one there.
That actually reminds me of a story when I was a Boy Scout. So make all the jokes you want, but we went to this camp in North Carolina, and they had grits one morning. And my first thought was, did Goodyear make these? Because you could literally just put your fork under it and lift it up, and it was one solid piece. Then it didn't droop. It was just one solid thick bleh of grits. I'm like, well, I don't think I'm ever eating these again. Like maybe I could make a raft out of it because
Oh God.
My mistake was I actually went almost all the way through. I aged out before I could finish my Eagle project. So I almost got there, but band and music had kind of just really taken over my life at that point. Because I was playing in a couple different church groups. Of course, I had marching band and all that stuff through high school, and so yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, my mama didn't let me in the Scouts at all. I mean, I had no desire. I mean, I'm from the inner city, so that's weird. The only thing that's close to the woods is this place called Rock Creek Park, which kind of leads directly to the zoo. So that's the closest thing to a wooded area, And I remember because I used to, so I was watching something on TV, and I was like, oh man, I can be a scout. I was watching Animaniacs. There it is. I was like, oh, I could be a scout. My mother was like, nah, you ain't going to the woods and have folks kidnap you and drag you off. And I'm like, oh, they're kidnapping people in the woods? Like, yes. Like, here, watch Friday the 13th. There you go. And then
I can definitely blame Boy Scouts for me never wanting to be a fisherman of any kind.
Oh, really?
Because, I was thinking it was in 4th grade or so. And we went to this scout camp that was out at a state park outside of Houston called Brazos Bend.
Okay.
And you had a place where you could go fishing, but they said you had to keep a pair of scissors on you because if you caught something and you tried to bring it up towards the dock, the alligators would chase you on land for it.
Oh,
my immediate thought is, okay, giant ancient reptile that could probably outrun my chubby little ass. No, I'm not going to fight him for fish. So I don't ever want to do this again.
Yeah.
I literally have never fished since then.
Yeah, that's a heck of a stipulation.
Yeah.
You might be able to catch something, but the dinosaurs may eat you. Well,
and I even saw Stumpy. Stumpy was a 13-foot long alligator. He was originally 19 feet long and lost his tail in a fight.
Oh, whoops. Well, whoopsie.
And I'm assuming he won that fight because he was still there.
Yeah.
He's still alive, knowing how long those suckers live.
Like, oh my God, your tail's missing. You should see the other guy. Holy crap.
I was like, nope, I'm not fishing. Just doesn't appeal to me at all. Of course, I was a city boy for most of my life. I didn't really get out into more of a rural area until I was about 12 or 13. So
I'll do it.
Now I'm in, BFE, Oklahoma.
Oh wow. Oh, Dust Bowl.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
but
man.
Other than that, so kind of what are your musical tastes? What's really the genres that speak to you?
That's a really good question, CJ. So growing up in DC, there's a huge melting pot of people. It's like there's black, white, there's Latino, Asian, Indian, African. There's all types of people around. But the majority of the music that I listened to growing up was rap, rock, and we have our own subgenre of music called go-go. If you've heard of it, you might not have heard of it. It's from our city. You won't get it anywhere else. I'm assuming you haven't heard of mumbo sauce either. I'm going to assume you never. Yeah, okay.
But also,
yeah,
I'm excruciatingly white, so you'll have to.
Yeah.
Where I come from, it's either Red Dirt or Tulsa Sound is what we get mostly around here.
I see.
Which I still haven't found a good definition for Tulsa Sound, other than it's a genre and it exists.
Oh, that makes sense. But yeah, for the entire viewing public, rap, hip hop, rock was a huge influence on me as well. And if I have to put a third one in there, it'll be like reggae, dancehall. I listen to a lot of that. Go-go had the best way I can describe go-go would be hip hop with, I hate to put it this way, but if you were also drumming on trash cans. That's the best way I can kind of describe it. So you gotta understand.
So Dr. Dre meets Stomp.
Sure. 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 That's the best way I can do it. And
someone's doing a cover of NWA, but they're doing it in the Stomp show.
Sure. That's the best way I can describe it. Like if you're not from the city, you'll be like, huh? So yeah, that's the best way I can pretty much describe it. And there that was our cultural sound. But rap and rock had a major impact on me growing up. I listened to name it. I've got Pimp Daddy Kane and Dr. Dre and Eminem, 50 Cent. And on rock side, I listen to a lot of Metallica, Avenged Sevenfold, Linkin Park, like all these different like musical groups just went into my brain and just lived in there. My father thought himself an intellectual, so he would play classical music and big band and swing. So I was kind of forced to, do you prefer a decade of hip hop? You like the best? Ooh, that's a good question. Wow. Ooh, okay. So late 90s hip hop, late 90s, early 2000s hip hop is my favorite because I believe that those had the best lyricists. That's my personal opinion. The beats weren't quite there yet, but the lyricists were top tier. You're talking like Busta, Nas, or a couple of local ones like Wale and stuff like that. Like these were like lyricists. Oh, Dirty, Method Man, Red. Like those guys were hardcore lyricists, and like their lyrics are still in my head to this day. Tribe Called Quest, absolutely. Tribe Called Quest. All those folks were like some of the top tier lyricists that cannot be topped, period, ever. I think the beats and rhythms got better once they started inculcating a lot of synthesizer to the rap and hip hop genre, so they can start creating more heavy beats without the use of instruments. And I thought that made it maybe in the 2010s, maybe when I think the beats became better, but the lyrics just went straight.
At this point, some of the songs I've heard in the last 5 or 6 years, I'm like, it sounds like they just took a snippet from like the old Hustler magazine or like Penthouse Forum and just like, here, let's just copy this down. I'm like, seriously, there's like no substance here.
Oh my God. It's
that's
so bad.
One thing I loved about rap was it really spoke to the struggles of that group.
Yes.
You know, it's what they were going through, what they were seeing. You know, that's what I liked about, you know, especially the early hip hop
Oh my God.
was,
It was tremendous.
because
It
they
was
were
tremendous.
actually speaking to what their experience was. You know,
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
it's
And
just 40s bitches and hoes.
yeah. And look, and
And
like
none of the normal people listening to that rap are going to get 40s. Well, they can get the 40s, but they ain't
maybe
get
before.
just hoes.
That's not correct. That's not happening. Not for 1 second. That's not happening. And my problem with modern rap, oh, I got a lot of problems with modern rap, but like some of my favorite lyricists coming up, um my favorite female lyricists anyway, like DaBrute or Eve, Missy Elliott, like these ladies could rap. Like they were good. Like because they came up in the underground. I used to watch them at underground clubs over there on 12th Street, and like they were good. What women are doing today in rap is an abomination. It's an abomination, and I can't even listen to it. I literally cringe, cringe. Rose School Beats, Dr. DJ Premier, Dr. Dre. Yeah, those are look, they're great. And look, ain't no shit. Look, old school beats, there is nothing wrong with it. I think there's nothing wrong with it at all. But for me, I felt that it was formulaic. That was me. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I will pop in a Wu-Tang album tonight. I don't care. Like the beats still work for me. But I just think that it just started morphing and got a little bit better as time went on.
I was trying to think, who was I listening to the other morning? I was dropping my daughter off at school and they were talking about, I think it was some rapper who had gotten into legal trouble of some kind. But he was basically, he was like, this isn't a kid who grew up in the hood. This is some middle class suburbanite who's trying to do stupid stuff to get the cred he thinks he needs to get, more famous. And I
that
think that may be the issue. It's not really coming from the streets. It's coming from the TikTok kids, sitting in their bedrooms thinking they're going to be the next, Dr. Dre. And it just ain't going to happen that way.
You cannot speak to true pain until you have been in pain. And that's that, like people forget, well, modern people anyway, the modern artist forgets that music is pain that's being displayed. They don't understand that. And like rap and hip hop comes from the blues, from the South. Geez, they're called the genre the blues. That's not by accident.
No.
It's because things were not going their way, and the only thing you could do is play their pain away.
Mm-hmm.
And then it transitioned into other things. But these kids today, was it Takashi 69 or whatever their names are now? Who cares? They all sound like medication bottles. I have no idea what these people are. They all are faking the funk. They're not hard. They're not gangster. They're none of that.
And DJ, he nails it right here. The biggest nail in any coffin for any genre of music is when it becomes mainstream. More people listen to it, but it does lose its soul in the process, and that's very, very, very true.
Exactly. It's very like once you lose the pain, it's no longer real. And it's not saying that like I enjoy party music. Like you want to go to the club and enjoy party music, but be party music. Just like one of my favorite groups of all time is technically in a hip hop / electronica group called LMFAO. I loved that group. The two guys that were drunk and high off their tails talking about let's party, crank up the synthesizer, and let's pop bottles. And that's fine. And that's great because that's the genre it's supposed to be in. If those two jokers got up there and talking about the gangster life, I'm going out the opposite direction because they don't live that experience. They have no idea what they're talking about. This is not the life they live. And like me, I would
turn into Grandpa Simpson real quick. Walk in the door, put on the hat, turn around, put on the hat back on, walk right back out.
Exactly. And like me, I'm from the inner city. I've seen a lot of stuff. I've lost friends. Like I've seen this stuff. I grew up with these people. I've seen people not be able to make it back home because there was a drive-by. I've lived that life. So if I want to talk about it, I can talk about it. But if you're gonna sit there and pretend like, oh, I've seen things, when I know that you lived in middle of America in a mansion with your granddaddy's money. Mm-hmm. There's a major disconnect when like it was put perfectly. Axis said it perfectly. Like now it is mainstream. It doesn't matter because now we can all just play pretend and then hope to sell a bunch of records. But the TikTok generation doesn't appreciate a whole lot of stuff because they've been conditioned not to.
Yeah.
And like I was saying, like earlier, like one of my favorite groups is like rock as far as is Linkin Park, Metallica, like people that I cannot personally speak to the experience of because I'm not from those areas, but I can speak to their pain. I know what it's like to feel like I'm at the end of my rope. I know what it's like to feel um like the system is against me and stuff like that. Like I get that. I can relate to that music. I can relate to what they're talking about, and not to mention a whole lot of them shred, which is tremendous. Like my other brother is a great guitarist and stuff. So he's like, and he was influenced by Metallica and all those other groups, and it was tremendous for its time. But now, where's rock now? It's underground because mainstream rock doesn't sell. It's sad because like I was listening to the radio the other day, and like our local radio station is called DC 101,
Mhm.
and on the rock station they were playing Imagine Dragons. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure that ain't rock by any subcategory.
Nope.
Not one subcategory. As far as I'm concerned, they're pop.
Yeah,
I guess.
they're pop. They're definitely pop. They're not rock.
Yeah, they're pop.
It's like
So rock, especially in my city, is dead. So it's sad to see a great genre go down like that.
Yeah. And when a genre really hits too, when you get those universal themes, it doesn't matter what color you are to be able to get and appreciate those themes, like you said with Metallica and Linkin Park. I mean, they don't look like you, but they speak about universal problems and feelings that every human feels, no matter where they're from. You could be from North Korea, you could be from South Africa, you could be from Brazil. We all feel those same things and experience those same feelings. And that's the greatest thing about music, is that it can speak to that universal truth of the human condition.
Yeah. And that's what makes music beautiful. And and that's why I think that's why my family gravitated to it so much. Because like I come from a musical family and all the other kind of man has rock and Slipknot is a big bad music. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, that's it, Paul. It's the human experience.
Yeah. Yeah, in a sense, I put music and food in the same category. That's my belief. I put music and food in the same category. Music and food is to be shared with everyone.
Yeah.
Absolutely everyone. That is how we get to know each other. That's how we speak to different experiences. Like, hey, come over, eat the food that my family prepared. Like, oh my God, I've never had collard greens or whatever. And I go to your house and like, oh, I've never had tuna casserole or whatever. I don't know. Whatever it is.
I mean, I'm white, but I ain't that damn white. Yeah, and that's why I hate those people that go after restaurants that aren't authentic. Again, food is like music; it should be shared. You know, I don't know. There's a clip that's been floating around. I don't know what it's from. I think it's from a Canadian show, but there's some little white Karen who is complaining about the white guy running the authentic Mexican taco truck.
Yeah, I've seen the
like, and he chews back to her, and he's like, you know, but Guillermo's making the food. He's like, "Oh, are you being oppressed, Mr. Guillermo?" And he turns around, and it's a Korean dude who doesn't speak a word of English, and they're going back and forth in Korean, and making this girl look like a complete and total dumbass.
Exactly, and that's the point.
Say they're culturally appropriate. No, culture is meant to be shared.
Shared.
How can you appreciate culture or appropriate it if you don't appreciate it?
Exactly. How is it if you never experienced something like that? If I never shared my music with you, or you never shared your music with me, or shared your food with me and me with you, how would I ever experience it at all? If my partaking of it is a problem, that's lunacy. And honestly, I've lived long enough to see the future become history, and I'm just like, the idea that if I partake in something that isn't from my particular race, it is now problematic. I rewind the clock 25, 30 years. This is not a problem that I experienced when I was coming up. This was not a thing. me like or like I was fortunate enough to live in a melting pot, and I grew up poor, but we used to have people stay with us from different countries. We used to have people stay with us to help pay rent and stuff like that. So like people would come into the city because you can't afford a hotel in DC. So people would come, like if people from Trinidad, Africa, all different type of places that would stay with us, and they'll share their food with us and their culture and all this other great stuff. And I was able to be exposed to a lot of different cool things, a lot of different foods, a lot of different musics, even that wasn't even in my city. And I was able to become a even well-rounded individual as a kid. So when I see this idea that, oh, because you are a certain race, or usually if you're a white guy or whatever, you can't partake in something, it's absolutely ludicrous.
Yeah.
See, pre-edition.
Well, yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
remember, watching TV in the 80s and seeing, black people all over the place, and it didn't bug me because as long as the characters were good, that's all I cared about. I watched the Cosby Show. I mean, obviously, in hindsight, it seems a little strange, but
Yes.
I mean, the Cosby Show was a fantastic show.
Absolutely.
It was really, I
Absolutely.
loved Family Matters. I loved Different World. There were so many shows that were not made for me.
Yeah.
By modern definitions, but they were made for everybody because they
Everyone.
talked about, again, universal human experience. Now, obviously, they're going to delve into something that's more culturally,
Of course.
relevant to that group, but even then, there's crossover in those areas so that every human's experienced prejudice or hate or whatever it happens to be the subject of that particular episode. And I just remember the 80s and 90s, especially the 90s. The 90s were such a great time for entertainment.
Yes.
Because there were all these different shows from different groups and different cultures that we all collectively as in a country loved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like we had
that.
finally ascended past all the problems that we've had in the past, and like that's what it felt like to me. Because like in the 60s, obviously we had issues. 70s, we were getting out of those issues. 80s, we were all starting to merge. And then by the time the 90s came, we were there.
Yeah.
We were, it was darn near perfection. We were there. For here, Ginger playing funk band, late 80s, all music is good except Polk. Agreed. Get Polk out of there. Agreed. Get out of there.
Y'all hating my people's music. I'm offended.
Get rid of all of it. Get rid of all that polka nonsense.
Scrambles showed up at the end there. What's up, Scrambles?
Hey, Scrambles. And one thing I do want to share with you guys before we close.
Yeah.
In the same vein, I was doing a signing a few years ago, and there was a woman that had approached my desk, and there was a lot of folks around. We were doing a signing. It was at my local comic book shop. Shout outs to Alliance Comics, it's the best. And support your local comic shops. Do that too. And she came to me and she said, "Mr. Brute." I'm like, oh God. I'm like, this is not going to go well at all. And she said, she basically insinuated, like, excuse me, I looked through your couple of your issues and I don't see any LGBT, so on and so forth, community, whatever. And I said, okay. I said, let's play this game, ma'am. Let's play. I said, look, I have nothing against anybody's community. I'm not that invested in the human experience. That's first and foremost. I said, but you are a white woman, yes? Like, yes, I'm a white woman. I was like, okay, could you speak to the African American male experience? And she's like, no, that would be racist. I said, well, no, it's not racist, but you're just uneducated.
Mm-hmm.
I said, now let's just take me. I'm a heterosexual black male from the inner city. What in the world do I know about the experience of these individuals? I don't. I said, it would be insensitive for me to try to inject these type of notions into my material without being able to accurately represent what these individuals are. Everybody in the room stared at me like, oh snap, he's oh snap, oh. Then she sat there flustered because there was nothing that she could say.
Oh.
Because the point of the matter is these folks are so narrow-minded and all wherever else is and everything is wrong or whatever. We need to go back to a simpler time when we were just enjoying each other's company, enjoying each other's food, music, and literature. A simpler time we all can just get together, read a book, and not think about what political blah 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 and all. It was a better time, and we need to get back to that. And that's why the indies comics are here, to get back to normalcy.
Mm-hmm.
Because the big two, if you want to throw Dark Horse in there too, the big three, they have failed. It's not even up for debate. The proof is in the pudding. Manga is just bending them over and giving them the spanking at this point. They failed. And now it's up for us, the independent comic book community, to rise to the occasion, to get back to good stories, good fun, good storytelling, and give things back to the reading public. It's that time.
Excellent. I would give you a preach, brother, but I'm not sure if that would be culturally insensitive. or I could give you the old Devon Dudley. Oh, my brother, test.
Deacon Devon, get it done.
I miss the Dudley boys; they were fun.
Good stuff.
But I did thank you so much for coming on, Dre. This has been such a great conversation.
Oh,
and
this pleasure has been all mine.
Again, the link for Treble is in the chat. It's in the description. Go check out his comic. Give it a like, give it a share, spread the word, and definitely help out those independent artists, because that's what we're here to do. We're here to lift up the independent artists. So I wanted to thank you so much for coming on. This was such a fantastic discussion. And for programming for next week, it is Thanksgiving week, so no show on Thursday because obviously I want to spend some time with family. But we are going to do a Tuesday night special edition, and I'm bringing on his name is Bjorn Larkinson. He's a local artist here where I live, and he actually runs sound for a lot of the different casinos and stuff around the area. So he's mainly a sound engineer, but he does music and has some experimental stuff. And he's got an album that came out called ORNJ that we're going to do a spotlight and talk to him, about kind of his musical influences. So remember, not Thursday next week, but Tuesday, we'll have the next episode of the Forgotten OneCast, so that everyone can enjoy their Thanksgiving with their families and spend time with the people they love. So again, Dre, you're fantastic, brother. I love having you on here. We're going to have to do it again, especially once you get closer to actually having some of the actual music that we can definitely share with the people.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I can't wait to share.
So, again, thanks for the chat. We had Paul Hadouken, Master Tulsa, Scrambles the Death Dealer, DJ Axis, Metastep, Clinton House, Mr. Keely Chow hopped in for a little bit. So again, thank you everyone for joining us. And like I always say, just keep making music. Musical Minions, y'all have a wonderful night.